Greetings and welcome. My name is Connor, otherwise known as Ravashi on Keizaal Online, and this is going to be my ultimate video guide to Keizaal Online. I'm going to be covering as much as I can in this video, including a brief introduction as to what Keizaal even is, everything you need to do to get set up for the server, joining for the first time, basic controls, common issues and fixes, and the Keizaal Discord server. Keizaal Online is a sandbox roleplay environment. This is not just multiplayer Skyrim. It's a roleplay game with thousands of players that takes place utilizing the Skyrim game engine and lore. Every adventurer, every cook, every merchant, every jarl, they're all played by a real person. Any quest you receive will be given to you by another real player. Every prisoner you see taken to the chopping block is someone's story of its ending. While I would technically classify Keizaal as an MMORPG, it's unlike World of Warcraft, or really any other large role-playing game that I've played before. You'll come to recognize other players by name, make friends, and probably enemies, and most importantly, tell your own story and leave your mark on the world of Keizaal. I feel it's important to note, Keizaal is what I would consider a serious roleplay server, and it won't be for everyone. You're expected to remain in character while playing, and the time required to make progress is, let's say, realistic. Keizaal is still under very active development and there will be bugs you encounter, broken mechanics, and other grievances. With that being said, the experience will be what you make of it. Everyone is welcome and encouraged to try the server, and many players will be happy to help with any questions you might have when playing. Before we start the install process, we'll cover some prerequisites. First, you'll need a Discord account and to join the Keizaal Discord that's linked in the video description. Next, you'll need to download a copy of Skyrim Special Edition or Anniversary Edition on Steam. It is important to note that this guide requires an unmodified, clean copy of Skyrim to work correctly. If you are trying to install Keizaal while also playing with another mod pack installed elsewhere on your system, you may run into issues with either versions after the install process. If you have previously had mods installed, ensure your base Skyrim directory is free of any remaining mod files, and that you clear your INI files. You can do this by going to My Documents, Games, Skyrim Special Edition. Make a backup of the whole folder, then delete everything inside but the saves folder if it exists. We are now ready to start the install process. Firstly, open Steam. Look for Skyrim Special Edition or Anniversary Edition, whatever you're using, and click Install. Choose your drive, and click Accept. Once the download is done, launch the game through Steam once. Skyrim will detect your video settings, mine have been set for Ultra, however you can change this yourself by going to Options, and changing your settings here. I would recommend leaving all the detail options as they are, sometimes these have been known to break things, but feel free to change the resolution, anti-aliasing, and whether you want it in windowed mode or full screen. Click OK, and click Play. If you're playing with Skyrim Anniversary Edition, or have the Anniversary Edition DLC for Special Edition, you'll see this window pop up here. At this point, you can actually just exit out of the game. You can open up the task manager and end Skyrim. I'm going to click download, however, to show you what will happen if you accidentally do download the Creative Club content. None of this content is actually required, and later on will be disabled by the launcher. Once the game is reloaded, you can just click quit. Now that we've downloaded and installed Skyrim, we can download the Keizaal launcher. Go to your web browser of choice and type in keizaal.com and click Join the Adventure. Click on the download for Windows. Once complete, click and run the Skyrim RP launcher setup. Windows Defender may tell you that the launcher is an unrecognized app. As long as the info matches your download from earlier, it's still safe to run the launcher and you can click Run anyway. The launcher will install and open. Next, we want to go into the launcher settings and set the game path. Click on the settings icon in the top right, then go back to Steam. Right-click on your copy of Skyrim Special Edition, go to Manage, and click Browse Local Files. This is where we want to set the launcher to. Click Browse in the launcher, and a lot of the times it will automatically detect where the game is located. To be sure, make sure that this is the drive that you installed the game to, and it matches the folder that we just opened here. If everything looks good though, select Skyrim SE and click Open. You should see Validated in the top right here. Click Done. Next, we'll want to log into the launcher. Click in the top right where it says Unknown and log in. It'll open up a web page link that will access Discord. Click Allow. Discord will open. Click Authorize. Then close. It'll then want to open the Keizaal launcher. Click Open, and you should see that you're now logged in with your Discord username and profile picture. After logging in, if you see Discord session expired, log in, simply exit out and reopen the launcher. The message should go away. Next, we'll want to download Vortex Mod Manager and get the mods set up. Go back to your web browser and go to nexusmods.com/vortex. Then click Download for Windows. Run the Vortex setup. Next, you want to make sure that you're signed into Vortex. In the top right, authorize Nexus Mods to link to Vortex. If you are not yet signed into Nexus Mods on their browser, you will need to do so. Now that we're signed in on Vortex, go to Games and search for Skyrim Special Edition. Click the Manage button. Next, go back to Home. Click on Skyrim Special Edition and ensure that this path matches what's set in Steam. If you have multiple copies of the game, sometimes this path will automatically set itself to a different copy. It's important if you fix this to ensure that you don't override any other mods that you may have installed elsewhere. If you need to change this, click the Manually Set Location button and use the folders from Steam earlier that we set on the Keizaal launcher. Considering mine's correct, I'm going to leave it as it is. Next, go back to the Skyrim game option, Preferences, Mods, and where it says Mod Staging folder, click Suggest. If you can't click Apply, it means the suggested path was already set as the location and you don't need to change it. The key thing is making sure that this game path is set to the same drive as your game install location. It won't be the same folder as your Skyrim install location, but it needs to be on the same drive. Once that is all correct, we can go back to the Keizaal launcher, click the Vortex button on the top, and click Open Collection on Nexus Mods. You'll see the Keizaal Online collection open by the user Keizaal Online. Click Add Collection. Click Continue. It'll prompt you to open Vortex. Click Always Allow Nexus Mods to open link and click Open Vortex. A new collection add-on will pop up here. Keizaal Online Revision 6, just like we saw on the website. It's important. Create a new profile. Do not use the current profile. Click Install Now. Then click Yes. You'll have to start downloading the mods now. If you have Nexus Premium, click the purple button here and the download will be very quick. However, if you do not have Nexus Premium, you will have to download each mod manually. This sounds painful, it's not as bad as it sounds, and it should only take about 20 minutes. Click the Download Manually button. It'll open up the link to the mod. then click Slow Download. Assuming everything is working correct, it should start the download in Vortex here. Continue to do this as many times as it will let you. It'll just queue up all of the mods that need to download. Once they stop showing up automatically, it means you just have to wait until it next shows up again. In the bottom left of Vortex, we can see our total download speed, our download progress, and the install progress. The one to pay attention to really is the download progress down here. Once the download process is done, it should pop up just like that, and you can click Done. That being said, we're not quite done. You go to Mods, make sure that all of these are enabled, and hit Deploy Mods. Then, go to Plugins, and make sure that all of these are enabled. There are likely two that will need to be enabled, Keizaal.esp and Keizaal Online Mods.esp. Enable both of those, and click Sort Now. With that done, we can now minimize out of Vortex. You can close all of your web tabs, none of these are needed. And we're ready to play. You can see in the bottom left of the launcher it says Game Update Available. You don't need to worry about this. When you click play, it'll automatically handle it. You also want to make sure that we select our server on the left-hand side here. There's a number of choices. To start off, you'll probably want to choose Public 1 or Public 2. When I hit play, the launcher will download another 830 megabytes of files. If you get a menu that pops up like this, it likely means you have the Creative Club content included with the Anniversary Edition or Anniversary Edition DLC installed for your game. If you click Repair, it'll move all files into Data Disabled by Keizaal. This will also happen if you have any pre-existing mods in your install directory. Click Repair. Once done, the game should continue to launch. There'll be two windows that open when you click Run. There'll be a Skyrim Platform Console and the game. Make sure to leave Skyrim Platform Console open running in the background. The setup process is now complete, and you should be ready to connect for the first time. When connecting to the server for the first time, there are a few things to know. Depending on how many players are online, you may have a queue that you need to wait through before you're able to join the server. Once the queue ends and you reach the custom character selection screen, make a selection within 10 seconds. If you do not, you will be stuck at the Skyrim main menu and need to restart the game. You should immediately be brought into the character creation screen. If you do not, I will explain how to find a fix for this in the next section of the guide. While creating your character, keep in mind you only have 20 minutes to design them due to the AFK timer on the server. Choose an appropriate name, as it's not easy to have it changed later on. All characters are saved on the server, and it's specific to each server. You'll now find yourself in the Keizaal spawn room. You can use scroll wheel to change between first and third person perspectives. I also like to change my field of view to be slightly higher by pressing the tilde key to bring up console, typing in FOV92, then enter. There are floating green orbs around the room. Touch them in order to read the in-game tutorial messages. If you find the text is cut off, hold down Control and use your scroll wheel to change the UI scale. I'll let you read these in your own time when you join. Once you're done with the first orb, you should also be given an axe, a pick, and 40 septims to get you started. There are some custom controls that Keizaal Online uses that you should be familiar with. Holding K will bring up your skills menu. This is where you can view and select a master skill to gain XP towards. X will bring up your context menu while looking at a player or interactable item such as a door or chest. You can find options for trading and introducing yourself to other players here. G will show the emote wheel where you can select actions and poses for your character. To exit a pose, simply move with one of your WASD keys. V is the default push to talk button. You can change between the talking modes of whisper, normal, and yell by holding down V and pressing Alt. Before playing, ensure that the microphone you want to use in-game is set as your Windows default. Pressing Enter will open the text chat. Text chat is considered in character unless using /L for local out-of-character chatting. You can type in /help to see a list of all text commands. All of the custom controls can be changed in the Keizaal Launcher settings window. Once you have read all of the tutorial orbs, you need to choose your starting location. This is not an important choice, and you can travel between the holds freely whenever you'd like. You have the options of Whiterun, Solitude, Riften, and Windhelm. Interact with the portal and your character's life in Keizaal begins. As mentioned earlier, Keizaal is still under active development and you will very likely run into issues at some point. This guide contains details that should help avoid the most common issues when starting to play Keizaal, but in case you do have issues when playing, you can check my guide to commonly encountered issues, and if that doesn't help, go to the questions and technical help chats in the Keizaal Discord. Links to all of those will be in the video description. If something is really messed up, you may end up wanting to completely remove Skyrim and all its files and try again. This is especially true if you've had mods installed in the past. To do so, you can follow my purge guide, which will also be in the video description. The Keizaal Discord is a very useful resource, and you should be aware of what info is there and how to use it correctly. At the very top of the channel list, you'll find a Channels and Roles section. Click on that, and you can customize your profile and your announcements you'll receive, as well as your time zone. If you then click on Browse Channels at the top, you can find a list of all the different channels on the server, including hold-specific ones. Make sure, before you play on the server, that you're familiar with the rules and the game rules section. The FAQ section is also very useful to read through. If you need to make a report or contact the Game Masters, you can do so through the Ticket Creation channel. You can find server history on the History Books channel, or write a character introduction and post it on the Character Introductions page. However, this is not required. In the OOC section, you can find a general chat, a clips channel, a questions chat, as well as suggestions and technical help. At this point in the video, you should be in a pretty good place to start playing Keizaal. I'm sure you still have many questions and are wondering where to find more info. You can check around the Discord, but my main suggestion to all new players is to not do that and to instead ask the other players you encounter in the world. Say you want to learn more about alchemy. You may get a basic answer in Discord, but if you ask in-game, you might find the person you ask knows a master alchemist in Solitude and can take you to see them. Don't close off any potential roleplay avenues, as roleplaying with other players is what makes Keizaal Online so special. We're incredibly lucky to have a talented roleplay community. You may feel a little intimidated at first, but I guarantee interacting with the most players possible will give you the best experience on the server. The project is still under very active development by Oren, the creator, and the servers are maintained by a volunteer game master and support staff crew. Without all of them, Keizaal would not be possible, so a huge thank you to all of you. Keizaal Online is free to play for all, but if you would like to support the server hosting and development costs, you can do so at the Patreon link on the Keizaal launcher. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. I hope this proved useful in getting set up with Keizaal. If you have any remaining questions, please use the Keizaal Discord to look for answers and ask questions there for the best chance of getting help. Leave any feedback in the comments, and make sure to check the video description for any important updates. And most importantly, have fun playing Keizaal.